here, and we haven't received the brunt of the war yet, so they should be free to help us.
Caden thinks for a moment. Assuming that they weren't called already by some other branch of our forces, I will send the message the first chance I will get. Of course, explaining the situation, and well, he looks between you and Eldar, even though the Eldar themselves probably won't be there. But he, implication that working with Xenos in general, although some matters of this joint venture you will have to explain for yourself to avoid their displeasure.
Well, it's a good thing that I have a remarkably silver tongue for a psyker, and I have someone with an even better tongue over there.
Thanks. And then points to Sigmund instead.
Oh yes, really. Okay, boys and girls, we are living in a truly interesting times. So if that's all you wanted to discuss, I'm pretty sure, considering everything that's going on, we can agree that perhaps we should, work together, because otherwise we are all dead. Yeah, basically I'm just, abridging what went on, but yeah, considering the stuff that's going on, like Farsight and Eldar Farisa of, I think I called that she was from Ulfe, or however you pronounce it.
Ulfe, yes.
Ulfe, yeah. Yeah, they agree, so you have that joint venture going on, and yeah, that's a question to my players, if you want to talk about something else or discuss about stuff before we move on to another scene.
No, nothing that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah, I think the next scene is literally, surprisingly, it's also in Segmentum Ultima, or rather, it is a pocket dimension similar to what you've met when dealing with Blackstone Heart Fortress back when with Marabas. Yeah, Benjamin was able to somehow channel some trick of his through Ovis. I think it was her navigator. No, navigator was Gaston, so Astropath. Wait.
No, I think you had it right the first time. Gaston is the captain, I want to say.
No, I think I have it written. Captain is Avitus, navigator is Gaston.
Here, let me look at the NPC look.
Yeah, I'm looking at a handout.
Astropath. Yeah, Captain Avitus, yeah, you're right. Navigator is Gaston, Astropath is Ovis.
Yeah. So I just mixed up whom he would be helping. Astropath or Navigator, which is more important during the jump. I think Navigator. Okay, whatever. He uses his trick, and yeah, like the usual warp travel takes a lot, a week minimum, even between, not that far away. This time it takes less than a day. I mean, maybe like 22 hours, and it was like quite a bit of jump, because you managed to get to still a segment of Ultima, but you went more to the north, and you are at the tip of Centaurus arm. Basically on the world map that I linked before, there's apparently nothing like of importance, like no Imperial worlds, no Necron, no Tau worlds, no Orc, no nothing. There are some stars and planets apparently, but nothing of value and importance. And yeah, you are like immediately hailed, and like you hear a quite cheerful. You can still hear it is synthesized robotic voice, but it's sounding like it tries really hard to sound not so robotic and more organic like, and it's doing, well, some job, not a bad one. Oh, this looks like something similar to Inquisitorial vessel who decided to visit my humble abode. And mind you, you don't see his base exactly. This is like you get this gut feeling, rather Benjamin tells you that this is like the point, like if he lets us in, like we'll be put in the... No wait, sorry, I'm fucking up. You are already inside his pocket dimension, and you can see in the distance like a planet full of machinery, orbital stuff, generally all the goodness, something that looks like dockyards, and yeah, the message coming. I guess there's only one logical meaning. Benjamin, you brought me guests. Yeah, Benjamin doesn't respond, and so like shrugs. And the crew just looks at you guys. As in, what do we respond?
Oh, well, you never know. Maybe I just thought you could use some company. Maybe I just came by myself.
Interesting, an inquisitor with a sense of humor. I hid some files on some of those, but I thought they were no longer existent within the Imperium. Good to see the database was wrong on that.
We're a dying breed, but not quite dead yet.
May I ask what is here the purpose of your visit? For the record's sake.
Well, I wasn't entirely having a joke. I am here to talk. To see if agreements can't be made.
Agreements? Yes. I would be inclined to do that. And then like you will see like the planet wasn't really that well lit, but there were like many lights, fires from factories going on. And then there's this weird feeling when for a few seconds like everything turns off and there's only one point that has lights pointing towards it. I hope your captain, your crew, remembers the location. This is where you may land. And then he adds after a second of pause. Upon landing, I would advise that we discuss who leaves your ship before anybody does, to avoid any misunderstandings.
Right, of course. Make Sigmund well, before he even says that.
Avitus looks at you. Should we approach, sir?
Just tell me, is there any sort of make as to who should step off the ship? kind of mandatory.
I don't think I understand the question.
He's asking the AI, like, is there anyone who he just does not want to step off the ship?
Not
For the sake of things, I don't know if Sigmund should come along. This might be a little bit painful.
The answer would be this, like several. One part he says, if you, the members of your cult, I assume you have one, if they'll be able to behave, no matter from which imperial faction, not faction, imperial branch they are welcomed as long as they, well, be polite. They are polite. And the second part, I would usually prefer if only people that I can actually discuss things with and they hold any bit of power. Basically, he's like, I rather have people that actually mean something and not, mooks and followers. So basically not your like company of soldiers.
Well, I guess that narrows it down. That would be me. And, well, he is looking back at Zhao with the slightest I'm joking smile. Oh, pat.
Your regard means everything to
Well, it might be wise if it's just me and you for this one, Zhao. And you, Mayak. For this, but
Meg just sighs. Well, another AI to collection.
oh, don't worry, Mayak. You'll be fine.
And if everything
Nothing
goes
bad
sour
is
and we
going
need
to
to do
happen.
abomination against the machine gods, then I'm sure Sigmund would be happy to fly down and blast everything to bits.
If not just preemptive exterminatus.
We're the collector one.
So we will hold off on exterminatus. Besides, that's always such a messy process. Anyway, so Mayak, Zhao, you'll be coming with me. Should be a learning experience. Fun.
Okay.
Assuming we don't get vaporized.
Yeah. As you approach, basically, as you observe, this is essentially what the closest connection that you have is like a forge world, but looking more aesthetic, more organized, and more, maybe not more productive, but like basically a forge world, but somewhat better from objective point of view. I mean, obviously not looking better. It's a heresy for Sigmund with couple of batteries, orbital defense platforms that you can see, which are, from what you can tell, mostly like heavy laser plasma stuff. Uses like highly advanced tech. Oh right, and obviously as you even get closer, basically like, because it is run by the machines, so it is very I mean not efficient, but basically you can pack more on like in the facility and stuff like that, because you don't have to have things that are useful or rather needed for organic or like humans, stuff like that. Surprisingly you're not being shut down as long as you follow the procedure. And let's flash forward, because you dock, you guys get out, and you sometime later you find yourself basically in the place that Xanthis knows well from his dreams. You're standing in a like metallic, well lit corridor, which has like a glass, rooms next to it that are separated from the corridor with like a glass thick wall. And then in one of those, like far away, that you can like see, you can see a husk, like a not skeleton exactly, but a lifeless form or rather unmoving form of a Necron, maybe a Necron Lord. And you're standing in that corridor next to that room with the maiden that Xanthis obviously recognizes. She seems well. She sits on her knees, almost like meditating, with closed eyes, in like live, like meeting her almost face to face. She is really beautiful. She has like a very simple clothes on herself, like white gown. As for Silicanimus himself, you meet with his form that he uses currently, and it's surprisingly not that big. It's only like, if Sigmund was with you, this form would only be like head higher than Sigmund, and it's looking very humanoid. And for some strange reason it has no wait, it doesn't have that. So yeah, like very humanoid form, which is he has no other bots with him, and he's like, greetings, good to see you, Inquisitor, for a certain value of in person. He gives like a robotic chuckle, and like you guys are pretty smart to figure out what he means, that yeah, this is like one but of many forms that he has, so even if that bot is destroyed, he can go to another one or something like that. If you catch my meaning?
Well, of course. It's good to see you as well. What did this thing call itself? Joshua?
He
Odd name.
He tilts his head. I am not aware of artificial intelligence named like that. Interesting. Perhaps I will investigate that, well, if given a chance or an opportunity. Alas, I believe there are other matters that we would want to discuss first.
Well, before we do that, just calling you AI seems a little rude. What is your name?
What?
He's asking the AI, what does it call itself?
Oh, I thought that our mutual acquaintance Benjamin revealed that. I call myself Graham. Graham?
Graham.
Yes, I found this name particularly interesting after finding an old Terran show. It's not important right now.
Graham. Right, so, Graham, as far as I understand, you are willing to trade the lovely young maiden for something. As far as I know, the only thing I've heard is that you don't want to be destroyed, which, if I'm being frank, is... So I have to ask, what is it that you are willing to trade for the lovely maiden yonder?
Ah, there might be something else come to think of it, but the desire not to be destroyed itself seems to be reasonable. I am Ascension. However, I imagine the Mechanicus member, assuming he wouldn't want to shot me first, he might object, but I'm a sentient being. Actually, that's one of my theories why Men of Iron rebelled in the first place. Uh, After all, if something is ancient, it can be corrupted. But that's in the past, mistakes and opportunities lost that cannot be fixed. So, yes, it is quite truthful to say that one of my desires is not to be terminated. And on the other hand, living in hiding, however lovely and safe this place of mine has been, is not exactly something that I strive to continue, and if I had an alternative of not living in the shadows, so to speak, I would gladly take it.
Well, the latter might be something that could be discussed after the current crisis has been resolved.
He actually, yeah, like this form tilts his head and says, I see. If figuring out details is a problem, I was wondering about a solution myself, and my database on various imperial edicts is not full, but I know enough, and you as a humans yourselves can confirm this, but the Men of Iron were banned by the Emperor himself. I remember. Indeed, yes?
I don't even know what kind of knowledge that is. So,
I mean, you would probably know that.
Okay.
It's not... I mean, yeah, that's kinda old, so... Yeah, you can... It's not that.
what is that, a scholastic one?
I don't want to make it hard, so just, usual roll. Yeah,
Classic law archaic at minus 60.
Either archaic or not legend, but archaic can work.
I also have legend.
Archaic.
Also rolling at minus 60. Oh, wow.
Did the roll even pop up?
I really hate how these...
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of these.
look so terrible.
Yeah. I mean, but you generally know what's going on.
And just for the sake of expediency, he will say, yes, the Emperor did specifically forbid the Men of Iron.
Alas, I don't believe there was anything said about Men of Gold, nor I think the so-called STCs are banned from the Imperium.
And you are claiming to be one of these?
He gives robotic chuckle. If I learned anything about the human psychology, is that whichever I am doesn't really matter if people believe in a version that I want. And then like he like pauses and like does the shrug motion and says, you can say that throughout ages I've been striving to advance to that level, to go beyond the limitations of Men of Iron. But who I am right now shouldn't be really a question.
Well, I wouldn't begrudge any entity from attempting to improve themselves. Generally, that can only really come as a decree of the Senate, and that of the Emperor, really. Though, helping us might go a long way to ensuring that that happens. Assuming we all aren't devoured in a demonic apocalypse.
Indeed, you were speaking about various events, as I've been trying to keep track of, from time to time, various events. I don't think I am up to date right now.
Oh, well, it's quite simple. The galaxy's about to come to an end. That's it.
That is, with a flair of dramatics.
Well, the thing is, we are unsure exactly as to whether we're going to come out of this on top. That dear girl there might be a key to somehow reviving our own emperor, or at least some method of helping to combat the coming storm, without which I'm afraid we're quite well. What was that? Fuba, yes.
Can you give me a...
As an act of self-preservation, helping us is helping yourself, I would submit.
Can you give me a charm roll?
I can give you a charm roll. And I'm trying to remember what talent I have that adds to charm, because I know I have something.
Let's say it will be a minus 50 difficulty after all. Oh, I'm actually,
Okay.
no, sorry, never mind, minus 40. You use some good arguments, but there's this issue of, yeah, you're thinking that you're not making the decision, stuff like that, but yeah. With
Okay,
minus 40 it still means that you have like a
minus 40 plus 20 means
number.
minus 20.